Vanilla is a fantastic flavor, so fantastic that anything boring or basic became known as plain vanilla because of its popularity. They put it in everything, which is a little bit ironic considering this is the world's second most expensive spice. But we can't lay the blame on it. We really have to look at cheap, one-dimensional, artificial vanilla extract that lacks the real depth of vanilla beans. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. You can actually make a better artificial extract. It's easy. If you can make Kool-Aid, you can make your own artificial vanilla extract. But you can also expand it. So you can make a basic version if you're just cooking with it. Or if you want something more complex, you can do that. And it's so easy, it only requires 4 vanilla-like ingredients and a solvent of your choice. So alcohol or glycerin if you want to be alcohol-free. Now, natural vanilla extract is good, but as mentioned, it's an expensive spice and it's an agricultural product, so it's limited availability. So is it worth that expense compared to artificial vanilla extract? And I would say no, and there's a lot of people that back me up on this, especially when it comes to things like baking, where all the nuances of the vanilla bean, basically are volatile and evaporate off under the heat. There's also the expense. So if you look at making, something like cream soda, using natural vanilla is so expensive that, it'll kill your margins, and getting quantity and reproducibility is an issue. There is a place for artificial vanilla extract, and as I mentioned, you can modify it any way you want. It doesn't have to be a single dimension vanillin compound. You can stretch it out. Now, speaking of vanillin, this is the primary compound found in vanilla beans, and it makes up about 60 to 80% of the flavor that you get from a vanilla bean. So the question is if you buy vanilla beans and you're buying grade B beans and you're buying 100 grams of them, you're really only getting about 2 grams of vanillin. Now, if you buy vanillin straight, and you can buy this all natural, it's chemically identical what you find in vanilla, it's going to cost 10 to 20 cents a gram. So it is a significant difference in price compared to natural vanilla. And some artificial vanilla extracts, that one dimension, just use this, and other ones may just use ethyl vanillin, which is a different compound, but very closely related to this, and about 3 times as strong as vanillin. They're very similar in taste, so the really cheap vanilla extracts, we'll use this just because it has strength. Better vanilla extract will combine these two and mix it with glycerin and water and sometimes caramel coloring, and that is a vanilla extract. Now, today I'm going to show you a recipe that uses 2 other ingredients. It's partially based off of the US Army Navy specification for their synthetic vanilla. It's a recipe that comes from the 1960s, and you can see it here. And it includes a compound called Provental C, which they don't make anymore, but dihydrocoumarin is a good substitute. Now, you can't use coumarin. It's no longer allowed in food, but they used to put a lot of coumarin into vanilla extracts, 100 years ago. So they came up with dihydrocoumarin. It's a much safer alternative, and it still has that coumarin flavor. So adding a little of this kind of expands this flavor to, be more interesting. And then finally, I'm going to add a 4th ingredient, and this is called Isobutavan. So if you think of white chocolate and the vanilla aroma that comes from white chocolate, it doesn't smell like white chocolate, just that kind of vanilla-esque aroma you get from it. That's what this kind of smells like. But more importantly, what it does is when you're eating or drinking whatever product you have your vanilla extract in, or artificial vanilla extract, this extends the taste on the palate, so it's got some length. And that makes things taste a little bit better and allows people to enjoy it longer. So these 4 ingredients are all you need. You need a solvent of your choice and some water. And then optionally are some caramel coloring. And then if you want, you have the bottle, you can take a vanilla bean and just jam it right in there. So this is a couple of samples that I've been making, testing this. But if you want to get a little bit of that complex nature, you take 1 vanilla bean, and you just slide it in the bottle. And then you can take 2, and then you get the best of both worlds. You get a little bit of the natural complex nature, and you also get a much more affordable product. You only need 2 grams of this, 2 grams of this, and maybe a gram of this, and a little bit of this to make a liter of product. And this will be stronger than natural vanilla, and you're gonna get a liter of it. So it is really economical. And if you start realizing how much they're charging you for artificial vanilla extract, when you realize you can make a liter of it for less than $5, maybe $6, depending on what you use, it is worth investing in a few ingredients to make your own. Now, I will show you, after I show you the simple formula, ways to make it more complex besides adding a vanilla bean. But we'll talk about that as soon as I show you how to make this 4-ingredient recipe. It's simple. You only need a balance. So this is a $20 2-digit balance, you get online. Stir plates are optional, but they do make your life easier because they stir. You need these 4 ingredients. Vodka at 40% will do fine, or glycerin. And we're gonna make 500 mils today, and it's going to be a 2-fold vanilla extract. So 2-fold means it's just almost 2 times as strong as a normal vanilla extract. So you just use half. And it's really beneficial, especially if you're using it. So instead of using 2 teaspoons, you just use 1 teaspoon. It's less bulky that way. You use less solvent, which is, the vodka is the most expensive part of this, and same with the glycerin. These are really cheap. What happens is that you make it more concentrated and just use half the amount. You end up with a decent sized bottle, so 500 mils, and that will last you a long time depending on how much vanilla you use. So let me stop talking and I'll just show you how to make this. So this is really simple. All you need to do is weigh out a few ingredients. So the first ingredient is vanillin, and we're gonna weigh out 3 grams of this. And if you go slightly over, that's fine. This is 3.02 grams, so it's gonna be perfectly fine. Always clean your spoon. You don't want cross-contamination. Next, we're gonna add 0.7 grams of ethyl vanillin. Now, I got 0.78, but again, fine. You don't have to be super accurate with this stuff. Some people get, unless you're reproducing it, making it as a product or using it in cooking recipes commercially, there's always some wiggle room on this. So the next ingredient is dihydrocoumarin, and this has kind of a hay tonka bean note. It goes really well with vanilla. Some people confuse it with vanilla, but we only need half a gram of this. And then finally, we're gonna use some Isobutavan, and we only need half a gram of this. And that is it. Now all we have to do is add our solvent and our water, but I recommend just adding this to a stir plate. You can mix it up with a spoon if you want. Just grab a magnetic stir here. And you want to add 250 mils of either alcohol, so vodka, or 250 mils of glycerin. I do recommend warming up your glycerin to dissolve this because it will take a while in glycerin, but you're fine with alcohol. It should dissolve fairly quickly. Now, we just let this stir for a couple minutes. It'll probably clear up in a minute or two. And then all you do is add your water to the 500 mil mark. You can be extra accurate if you want, but the reality is this comes out pretty good as is. And you can make changes any way you want on this, but it is really a simple, basic formula. Again, you can add some caramel coloring to it, and that will just give it kind of that browner color, and you can add as much as you want because you use this in a really low level, so it doesn't actually affect the flavor. But as you can see, we're almost clearing up here. We'll give it a few minutes and then I'll add the water, and then that's basically it. So now that's mostly dissolved. One note, you should let this age for a few days. After you add the water, just put it in a bottle and set it aside. The flavors will combine and kind of equal out, and you'll get a more consistent product. But this is a product that is good as anything on the shelf these days for artificial vanilla extract. And as I mentioned, we'll talk about it in a minute, but you can expand it any way you want. So I'm just gonna add the water, and once we do this, all you really need to do is put this in a bottle top it up to the 500 ml mark here. That's done. Again, you can add caramel coloring if you want. Sometimes it's better to leave it clear. So if you're working with meringues or whipped cream or foams in cocktails, if you put the caramel coloring in it, sometimes you get that smoker's ceiling kind of yellow color that kind of taints that white creaminess of certain things. It is one of the benefits of making this yourself, that if you want something to stay well, white, you can leave the caramel color out. The flavor is going to be the same. The caramel just adds color. That's about it if you're just looking for a 4-ingredient, really easy recipe. And again, if you only want to do a 2-ingredient recipe, you can leave these out, and these will just be like regular commercial cheap vanilla extract. That's your choice. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to enhance the flavors on this, so if you're interested, stick around. But if not, thanks for watching this far. I hope you enjoy making your own artificial vanilla extract. Now, for those of you that are sticking around, I will put a whole bunch of more information on Patreon. So there's dozens of recipes out there. I'll put like 4 or 5 of them on the Patreon page. Different concentrations and how, the different ingredients to use. I'm only going to look at a few ingredients today. You could put like dozens of different ingredients in this to make it more your style. So one of the first ingredients I want to talk about is sandalwood. Now this is kind of more of a gourmet thing, but you can actually work sandalwood essential oil into this, or an isolate called ebenol. And sandalwood and vanilla go really well together. So if you're looking to make something that's unique and nobody else really is doing, that's a good choice. Sandalwood oil is very expensive though right now. Another option is oak wood. So this is oak wood extract and triethyl citrate. It's just basically extracted from the inside of white oak barrels, so whiskey barrels without the whiskey. And it is, as you would expect, like a vanilla oaky flavor, a little bit, not really tannic, but a little bit. But you can use this and add a couple drops directly into here, and it will enhance the flavor. And literally, this is how you do it if you're experimenting. So you got your 500 mils there. I will take 2 drops of ebenol, or maybe 1. Rinse out the other one. And there, I have added, a sandalwood flavor to that. I do the same with the oak one, but it's kind of frozen right now. It's a little bit cold in here, so it's solidified. But I'd warm that up and just add a drop or 2. And that's your starting point on this. 1 to 2 drops is going to give you enough flavor that you'll be able to taste it. The next is butter. You'll find a lot of diacetyl and acetoin used in vanilla flavors, and that really does kind of help with giving it a more of a gourmet flavor, gourmand. And you can buy acetoin, which has a really buttery flavor, not as strong as diacetyl. If you use diacetyl, dilute it down. But you can also buy CO2 extracted butter. This is a natural product, and it's really expensive, but it's basically butter that they've extracted all the flavors out and separated out the fat. So you're just left with this delicious concentrated butter flavor. 1 to 2 drops in there is going to enhance your vanilla. And, if you're making cocktails, it's going to give it that buttery element. But again, it's not going to be the primary flavor. It's still going to be behind the vanilla. But it's going to just give it a different characteristic, and a good one. And then the next one is guaiacol. Now this has got a smoky vanilla flavor, mostly smoky, but it is actually used to make vanilla. And in natural vanilla beans, wherever they are, right here, it does have a high concentration of guaiacol. So, I would recommend starting with maybe 0.1 grams in a vanilla extract of this, because sometimes it's almost half the amount of the vanillin found in natural beans. So if you look at the analysis of vanilla beans and vanilla extract, it can be found in really high concentrations, but it is pungent and smoky, so test it out before you put a lot in it. And finally, heliotropin. Now this one is a wonderful flavor. They put it in everything. It's the flavorist's ketchup, I think. So if you know bartender's ketchup, this one would be a flavorist's ketchup. It's kind of vanilla, almond, floral. It's really good. The problem is you're not going to find full concentration of this because illicit drug manufacturers have realized they can make illicit drugs from it. I get mine in dilution, so it's 20% in triethyl citrate, but it still works. You just pay a little bit more for it, but it does have a wonderful smell. It's very sweet and floral. Because it's diluted, I'd add like 4 or 5 drops of it and rinse out it because it's expensive, but that is basically how you make vanilla extract. And you know, I could keep going on with all the components. The first take of this video had like 2 dozen of them, and I'm like, it's just too much for everybody to absorb. The reality is you can start playing with all sorts of stuff. So you can use anise flavors to give this more of a Tahiti type vanilla essence. You can put, you know, all sorts of essential oils that give it, you know, a little bit of clove to give it more depth or whatever. You just play with this endlessly. And every time you make a batch, and if you're not happy with it, just put it in 250 ml bottles, put a label on it, and give it away as gifts. You're not really going to make something that tastes terrible, and people are always happy to get free things. So experiment, make stuff, make mistakes, give the mistakes away as gifts. People will be happy. So that's all I have to say on this. If you have any questions, Patreon's a great place to ask them. And if you like to support the channel, you know, please do sign up to Patreon. That's what keeps this place going. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.